My name is Stephen Black. I'm called Stephen Black Clairvoyant on Facebook. That's my page in which I use. What I'm going to do is answer a few questions for you today, which has been asked to me on my page. And I'm going to make a little video about what I do and how I work, so that you can understand a little bit more about this and little bit more about clairvoyance, or which we are our work with clairvoyance. So I'm going to be asked a few questions and I'm just going to answer them.
Hi Steve. First question is, how old were you when all of this began?
I was 37, which was only a couple of years ago when all this started. Basically, I seen my wife in a wedding dress a week before I got married, and I drew it, and I seen everything, and where she was sitting in the car, and a lot of things what happened on the day I seen a week before it happened. Also, I was at a stag do in Ibiza. When I was drunk with the rest of the lads, obviously in a stag do you will be. I seemed to know loads of stuff of people who was around us, and I answered a lot of questions, and there was a few different people there, and there was a few Irish girls which I remember in particular, and one of them, we were all sitting there around the pool, and she says, well, if you know all this stuff, what's my nana's name? And I says, it's Jane, and she jumped up and knocked a few drinks over with quite a shock, because I was correct in what I was saying. And she was that shocked, it actually shocked me, and that's how it all started.
Does it ever frighten you? Do you ever find that you're frightened by the things that you see, or the ability itself?
No, it did originally when it first started. It did frighten us at first, but not now. I've done too much. I've seen too much, and a lot of things have happened to us over the last year and a half. That's made us quite accustomed to it now, and I feel I deal with it quite well. It did originally when it first started. I was quite shocked, and I went through a phase of being shocked in a surprising way, and amazed at the responses of things I was telling people and how accurate I was. But it doesn't scare us now, no.
Do you ever get bad spirits?
Bad spirits, yes. I mean, there's good and bad in anything in life, from food, diet, to people who were still around us alive. But yeah, I do get people who maybe were quite a negative person when they were alive, but I just choose to ignore them. The same as I ignore people who were around us, who are alive now, who have got a lot of negativity around them. You've just got to switch off from them. But yes, I do get bad spirits as such coming to us, yes.
Does this happen in public, so in non-fixed conditions? So say if you were at Tesco's and maybe you met somebody at the checkout, would you be able to read them, or do you need to be in a fixed setting?
No, I don't need to be in a fixed setting, and yes, it does happen. I do choose to keep things to myself. When I'm in public areas, I don't share or tell stuff what I see. I have if I'm in a park with the dog, or I'm in a public area where it's quite there's not a lot of people around us, and I've got stuff. I remember one in particular, I was on Ben's Park, and there was a girl there, this lady in question who had lost their brother, I believe, and I tell her a lot about him, but I explained to her what I do and who I was before I actually give her the proof of that he was still around. Because sometimes I do believe people cross paths with you for specific reasons, and I did feel impulsed to tell her. I did feel she actually was meant to be there at the same time I was. Therefore, I did tell her. But usually, no, I don't tell people in public areas. But I do get connections with people. Yes.
Have you had your own family connect?
Yes, I have. I've had my nana, who passed away when I was 10, visits me quite regularly, and when I'm reading people, she does help me connect with people. It's only been happening, I would say, over the last couple of weeks, to be brutally honest with you, but I do get her coming through to us quite a lot. And my wife's mother, when she passed away, she did come and visit me the day after the funeral, and thanked us for all of the arrangements and everything I'd done with the funeral. And I did ask her for proof, and she brought me undoubtable proof, which I passed on to my wife, which she was quite shocked at. So yes, I do get family members coming through to us and connecting with us at certain times.
have you had any prior experience to before this officially started? So maybe when you were younger, little inklings that maybe something was special about you.
Well, the best way to explain that is I would say yes, but I wasn't aware that I had anything more special than anyone else. It's just the same. The best way I can explain it is it's the same as like when you walk into a room full of people, you automatically assume that everyone can see the way you can see, and you assume everyone can hear the way you can hear and smell the way you can smell. I just assumed that everybody could actually like pick up on people's vibes and sense like things about people. I just assumed everybody could. It's only now, later in life, that I've realised that not everybody can. But I was quite, I don't know if the word's ignorant to it when I was younger, or oblivious, but I wasn't aware that I just thought everyone could like connect with people. It's only now that I've realised that they can't. And that's the way that I've sort of realised now.
Okay, thanks, Steve. If you do a reading and you get some bad news, or you get some unpositive results, do you ever keep things back? Do you keep things from them so that they don't get upset?
Yes, I do. If I get some information that's not really going to benefit the person, the participant I'm reading, if I get some like information that's quite bad, like I would refrain from telling them. And the reason is because it's not going to benefit them in any way, shape or form. So I don't see why I should cause anybody unlike due stress. So I do reserve some things that I get past to as yes.
Okay, do you connect with animals as well? People's pets?
Yes, I do get animals coming through to us. I mean, obviously we're all aware that animals don't communicate by talking, but as I connect visually and I get like thoughts and pictures, I can see certain animals that people have lost, which I'll describe to them and what they look like and things like that, and certain mannerisms, what animals. But it is quite difficult because obviously, how do you communicate with animals, because they still can't tell you who they are. They'll just show you what they look like and things like that. But yes, I do connect with animals.
Do you only connect with verbally, or do you show images and places people have been, places that are familiar?
One of the first readings I ever done was with a girl that I was in training with, and I got took around her house and I got shown where this box was from my late husband, who would let me know that he passed 7 years ago and the way he used to dress and things like that. And I got took round the house and I got shown the box in her wardrobe, and I seen her bedroom, colour of the carpets, colour of the stairs carpets, everything within her house, and she was absolutely gobsmacked. But the reason I was shown that for was because like the box that had his collectibles in, he was asking us that she needed to go in and look at these collectibles to get closure on his passing, which she agreed to, and she showed us photos of what was in the box exactly as I described, which shocked me as well. So yes, I do get taken around people's houses and where they used to live and things like that.
Are you ever overwhelmed by the volume coming through at once? Do you get people competing, trying to give you messages at the same time?
No, I find it quite calm, the way messages come through to me. I find it quite relaxing, and people just come through in a very calm way. It's more when I'm actually on live on my Facebook that I get bombarded with people who's here in the living, who they're the ones who bombard us with asking us messages and have you got anything for me, and I kind of keep up with them. But spirit world, it's pretty, I don't know, it's pretty, they're pretty, come through pretty relaxed, to be honest.
Can you switch off? Can you switch the gift off so that you don't get messages and you don't get bombarded?
Yes, I can switch the gift off because it's called closing down or opening up. But you do still get little things coming to you. But I've got to work to connect. It isn't that like stuff just comes to me. If I don't connect, a lot of things don't come to us. I've got to go and get them, if that makes sense. It isn't like I get bombarded, like you've opened the door and everyone's coming flying through the door. It's like I've got to go and open the door, because if I don't open the door, things won't come to us.
Did anyone tell you earlier in life that you might have a gift? Did other people see this talent in you before you realised?
Yes, I did get told 12 years ago by a clairvoyant that by the time I was in my late 30s, I was going to be as well known at me clairvoyance as what I am with me mixed martial arts, which I was teaching at a professional level 12 years ago. And I didn't actually believe it, and I did ask him what clairvoyance was, and he says exactly what I'm doing right now. Unbeknown to me, if you fast forward 12 years, I'm sitting here doing it now, and it wasn't like a subconscious part of my mind thinking, well, if somebody's told us I want to do this, I need to do it. It just all of a sudden started happening. And the guy was absolutely bang on in everything he said, amongst other things, what's happened to us as well. He was very accurate. So yes, I have been told. I've also been told a few times, more so recently in the last few years when I've went to spiritualist churches, they've stopped and never said anything else, but come straight over to me and tell us straight away, you do know you've got a gift and you know you're quite strong with it. And I was quite shocked, and I was like, well, agreeing with them. And I've been told off a few people, to be honest, so yes, I have been told.
How soon after someone passes can they come through?
I get this asked many times of people, or told. I get told of people, well, I've been told that it takes 6 months before somebody's passed to come through. The closest I've had of somebody passing that I've been aware of that people have told us, and I've drew a girl's mother and told her everything what happened on her passing, to the T, was 4 weeks. But I do know fellow clairvoyants have connected with people like within people passing straight away. So this 6 month thing's just a myth. But in my personal opinion, I would say you can connect with people straight away when they've passed, I believe.
Do the readings drain you, either mentally, physically, or both?
Yes, I didn't realise how much the drained is until I've started reading more regularly, and I get very dehydrated as well. But yes, it does drain you. When I go live on my page, last week in question, I went on for 3 hours and 20 minutes, which was ridiculous. But I learnt a very valuable lesson because it took us a week to recover from it. So the answer to that question is yes, it does drain us.
Okay, thanks for that, Steve. That's all the questions I've got here today. Thanks for your time.
Well, thank you.